Raj Bothra is an eminent surgeon from Detroit, Michigan, and more than I say anything, I would rather have him tell you about his journey, where he is, and what is the purpose of this book. So before saying any more and keeping, as I also understand you're all on a tight schedule with timing, and we'll try to give you the best possible interviews and information about the project, about the book itself, and the film itself. So, Dr. Raj Bothra, would you please?
Thank you very much for coming today here. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you, Lord, sir.
भाई बोल रहा हूँ ऑडियो वाले हमिंग है बोल हमिंग है बोल चला चला
Ravi sir is going to be the director of the film.
ऑडियो पता नहीं चल रहा है
Equally important, my old friend Anupam Kher. Anupam Kher for coming here in this particular occasion, and I'm delighted and I'm obligated to him in many ways. I go a long way with him. I recall about maybe 25 years ago when I got the Padmashri. He was the only person who came all the way there to Detroit in the celebration with the community there. So please give him a big hand. Let me start now. The title of the book is USA versus Raj. It's kind of little arrogance to have this kind of title. But it is basically because the case was that filed by the United States government. The title of the case, actual case in the court was USA versus Raj Bothra et al. Meaning that there are another 4-5 people included in that, and that is the reason the name of the book. Then we added in it Ordinary Man and Incredible Journey. That came from Prashant. I think instead of Incredible Journey, he could have written Roller Coaster Journey. And that's what I'm going to talk today and talk about the US judicial system and what can be done. Because we were not aware that what is going on in the judicial system there. I've lived there for 50 years. I'm actively involved in political, social, and obviously in the medical field. But even I did not know what is going on in the judicial system there, and that is basically the reason for writing the book. So let me take you on that roller coaster that I was talking about. I want you to imagine today that you are Raj Bothra and what happened to him. That's what I want you to imagine, so that you can get a clear view of what was the situation. That having lived in my country for 50 years and worked there, doing everything right, working hard, playing by the rules, even then you can get in a situation with no other notice or any other thing, and you can be thrown in the prison. And not only you can be thrown in the prison, you are not given a bail, while they have given the bail to all other people with exactly the same kind of thing. I spent 1,301 days in the prison. And then I got my day in the court. It took me that long. Because the only reason they kept me is that we can break him. He will plead guilty. We can make him do that. And if he pleads guilty, everything else will fall and we can declare victory. So, I grew up in a little town called Nagaur in Rajasthan, nestled between Jodhpur and Bikaner. We had a very loving family. It was a small town with 25,000 people and no electricity. That was the time where I grew up. But it was a small town. It was a family, was very rich in the family values. What we were lacking in the terms of the city and not having the facilities and not having the schools and colleges or the electricity, we were very rich in our family. My mother and father and my brothers and sisters, it was a very close-knit family. So we were very rich in that particular sense. And I was always had high ambition, being there, and high ambition that one day I will become a surgeon. And I don't know where it came from, but that was my thinking all along. So I went to the school, went to medical school in nearby city, Bikaner, got my medical degree. I went in Bombay. I always loved Bombay. I only heard of it. I never been to Bombay at that time. So I had to spend a year before I go to England. Because my thinking was always that I'll go to England and I'll do the FRCS, Fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons, and I'll become the surgeon. So I spent a year here in Bombay and came to know a lot of people because I was in Bombay Hospital and that was the premier hospital. So all the big people came, big people like Anupam Kher and others. They all came there, so I came to know a lot of people and I went to England. I stayed there 5 years. I got my FRCS. The plan was that I'll come back and settle in Bombay and do my work here because I got my medical degree here, as I said, and my expense, as I recall, was something like 200 rupees a month, everything included. So I became a doctor in something like $2,000. So somebody paid for it. You don't become a doctor in $2,000, money, which my parents paid, of course. So somebody paid for it, and that always was in my mind. And who is that somebody? That somebody is Government of India. That means people of India, the taxpayers. They paid for my education, and in return, I signed a paper before my admission that I will serve for 3 years in a village, in a rural area where they needed the doctors and nobody goes there. I did not keep that promise. That haunted me all along this time. And in fact, not only me, I should say that most of the people did not keep it because you have to go for post-graduation. Being doctor and getting a degree is really nothing. You learn a lot of the things afterwards. And once you do that, then you are not needed in a village because all they want is a family doctor kind of thing. So whenever I got that opportunity, I came back and I did that, and I'll talk to you about that. After that, I went to America. I thought that I'll go there for a year because I heard a lot America was coming up. I heard a lot about it, a lot of opportunity and all that kind of thing. So I thought I'll go for a year and go back to Bombay. But it really was a land of opportunity when I reached there, and much more than that. So I decided that I'll stay there for a while before I go to Bombay. I was already a surgeon there because I had the degree from England. Then I did the degree in America, and I'm a full-fledged surgeon. I can start practice and people will come and the things will go all right. I thought if I go to India, it will take me another 10 years. I was very young. I became surgeon when I became a doctor when I was 21. I became a surgeon when I was 25. And I looked even younger than that. I said, nobody will come to me for surgery if I went there and started my practice. So I thought I'll spend some years here and then I will go. I kept on thinking that all along, but it never happened. It's very difficult because you have other obligations by then. I did well in America. I did very well. I became chairman of the Department of Surgery. I became president of the medical staff. Life was good. I came back, I married Kwame. Later I came back again and I adopted I adopted Sonia, and the life was very good. At that time, I thought that I have to go back and do something now that I'm in a position to do. So I came back to Bombay. I had few people I knew because I was here before. And what I wanted to do was the kind of medical issues in which we needed the awareness of the people. Things like drug abuse, things like HIV/AIDS, smoking, alcoholism. These are not really diseases. These are basically a behavioral problem, and if you can educate the people and make them understand. And moreover, it is a cultural thing, and it takes decades. It cannot happen overnight. So I wanted to work in that field. To do that, I needed two things, and do it on a bigger scale, that it can make some difference. Otherwise, you can do little things, which is good, you feel good about it, but it really can't make any difference. So I knew that I need two things. I need the media, and I need the government. Without that, it cannot be done. I made a film here about 40 years ago called Mehndi. The purpose of making the film was not really the film. I wanted to become part of India again so that I can do this work. And it so happened that I met few people, few very, very capable people, and in particular I'll give one name, that was Sunil Dutt. And he was my mentor. It was a meeting of the mind. He wanted to do the same kind of things that I thought that I want to do it. And I also met many other people in the industry. I met also Anupam, and we put together a program that we can work on it. And we did work for 10 years. We kept on doing something. Sunil Dutt took me to Rajiv Gandhi. He was the Prime Minister at that time. Then I continued working with Narasimha Rao. And the government was also keen on doing something. Film industry wanted to do something. And eventually with the technology coming, and we can make digitally, we can educate the people, now we can reach the masses. So we made many documentaries. And in one of the documentaries, which you can still see on YouTube, the title was Evils of Tobacco. I made it under the banner of Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. It was done by Balaji Telefilms. Anupam took part in that one too, because I knew nobody wanted to see me. They want to see the film actors and big people. Yeah, Tusshar, I have not even seen. Tusshar was there in that one. So we made 3-4 things like that and distributed all over the schools in the country. And I could do that now through Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. Government was helping, film industry was helping. So I had a group of people that we can do that, and we did see some difference after about another 10 years. So for 20 years I was coming here 1 month every year. That was my holiday time. In fact, my wife would even start coming with me that it is not really a holiday. You call it a holiday and you take us there, and all the day you are busy with these kind of activities. It did make some difference. I wouldn't say a whole lot, but it did make some difference. In 2001, it was President Narayanan and government of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and I'm grateful to them. I'm grateful to the country that I was given Padmashri at that time. Things were going real good. I was doing what I wanted to do. My practice was good. Life was very good. So far, so good. And then everything came crashing down. One morning, got up at 5 o'clock 4:30 in the morning. That is the usual time I get up. I get ready, I go to work, I leave home at about 5:15, something like that. One morning I got out of my house and an FBI Federal Bureau investigation, you all know about it. They blocked my car as I got out from my home. So I got out of the car. I said, what is the issue? What is the problem? They said, we are FBI. Are you Dr. Raj Bothra? I said, yes, I am. We have the arrest warrant for you. I said, for what? I never had any other issue of any kind throughout my entire 50 years in America. They said, we cannot tell you anything. We have the warrant, this is the warrant, and we're going to arrest you. So I knew that there is no point in arguing. I said, can I inform my wife and daughter? Because I was already out of the house. In fact, he told me, luckily you are out of the house. Because at 7 o'clock, you break the door and come there with the rifles pointing at you. This is how we go. And the same thing happened to the 5 other doctors who were indicted with me. I was the boss, the other people were working for me, and with me I should say. And so I knew that I cannot argue with them. And so I talked to Pomi came out, Ranjan came, Sonia came out, and they were in tears. She said she will call the attorney. And FBI told me that the judge in the morning will tell you what is it about. So I go there, I'm presented to the judge, all 6 people, one by one. The 5 people were given the bail on the same morning, and that is the usual thing. If they go home and then the case will continue and whatever happens in the trial. But they did not give me the bail on the first day. Exactly the same kind of thing, what it is for the other people. And they had a flimsy reason for it, that you are a flight risk. That if we give you the bail, and we are talking about the indictment of $500 million, that you have defrauded the government, to be exact, $450 million, that you have defrauded the government on the medical payments, and the narcotic distribution, that you have prescribed that many kind of medications, and if you do that, you will run away to India. That was a fig leaf. You know, that they can tell for anybody that you are, if they want to keep. Looking back, they kept me only for one reason, that they can break me. If they keep me long enough, they can force me to take a plea deal, meaning that you accept that you are guilty, we will either let you go, or it will be reduced kind of sentence and that kind of thing, and they can break you. And that's the only reason they kept me for 3.5 years in the prison, which is against the US Constitution. That if you arrest somebody and if you keep them in prison, you have to have a trial very, very soon. You cannot keep people in the prison without a trial. But it took 3.5 years. 9 times I was presented to we filed for the bail. I went to the judge and 9 times he refused the bail. And I was 3.5 years in the prison till I had my day in the court. Right in the beginning, I had realized that there is no way out. The culture here in the judicial system is such that they have got to win at any cost. It doesn't matter whether it is right or wrong, fair or unfair, moral, immoral, it doesn't matter. They just have to win. And particularly from somebody like me, who is nobody. There are thousands of immigrants there. They are all doing well. And how could a government of the United States, all powerful, all resourceful, anything they can do what they want to do, and how could they lose to somebody who is really nobody with a brown color and coming from India? So that became a challenge, and government what they should have done when they realized that there is really no case, they should have dropped it. Instead, they doubled down on it. They made it a prestige issue. They advertised in the newspapers that this is the biggest Medicare fraud case in the country. And this is the prestige of the United States government behind it. And they could not do that. I don't know where it comes from, and that is really the reason of writing the book. That is really the reason for making a film, making people aware that this is what is going on there in the judiciary. I had my day in the court, 7 weeks of trial. Everything was free. When the government talked about $450 million, it was basically $45 million with a staff of 130 people and 10 doctors and the whole group. I had a kind of entire hospital, but I was the single owner of that. Other people were working with me. That was entirely wrong what they did. And these are the government figures. I don't have to prove it. It is the government, those who are telling you what they are paying me. Second thing they had, the issue was about the narcotics, that we were prescribing, and we prescribed some 2 million pill of narcotics, and people were selling the narcotics and all that kind of nonsense. That again is every single medication that we write, every single pill we write, it is reported to the state of Michigan, and they know exactly what is going on. What happened is this, that everything the government did was giving half the information. Like in narcotics, a usual practice is 500 patients or 1,000 patients. We had 25,000 patients. So obviously our billings will be that many times more. Obviously our prescriptions will be that times more. They never said that thing when they indicted us. Just gave the number of people and the media, that kind of thing, and everywhere in the newspaper, in the television, that's what it was. So I had my day in the court. After 7 weeks of trial, when the real facts came out, and as I said, I was only relying on the jury. I knew that is the only place where I can win. Otherwise, the whole thing is totally corrupt. I won. 54 counts against me, 20 years for each count. Omi said she can't even count how many years, maybe 1,000 years you will be in prison if you are convicted. In the end, the jury deliberated, they discussed, and within hours they came out with the verdict. They handed it over to the judge. The judge had a little hard time reading it because he couldn't believe what it was. Count 1, he waited 30 seconds. It felt like an eternity. He said, not guilty. And then 54 times he said, not guilty, and I was sent home. But it took 3.5 years. Now there are many disturbing questions in this. And the disturbing question number 1. As soon as I came home, I got the first call from Anil, a friend of mine here. And he said, Raj, I want to ask you one question. How they are going to give you back the 3.5 years of your life that they have taken away? They have taken away from Pami that 3.5 years, they have taken away from Sonia that those 3.5 years. And what they went through, it is totally unbelievable. That you will see in the book and that you will see in the film whenever it comes out. They had no right to torture them in this way. They had much more difficulty and much more problem than I had in the prison. And I can clearly say that if it is not for them, I would have been dead in the prison. And that's what really the government was hoping for. The day of the trial, they took me to another prison. I did not have my legal papers or anything like that. They put me in a medical unit. It was basically a torture. I had no food for 1 week. Going in the prison, going in the trial, I don't know what is going on. I'm physically not capable. Mentally, I was still all right. I thought they're doing it because I cannot be prepared for the trial and they can win by default. My attorney told me that no, it is not that. They were hoping that you will die. That you will die in the prison and they can declare victory. It came to that level. So there has got to be something seriously wrong. One thing, that how they're going to give me these 3.5 years. Second thing, about the bail. Everybody went home with the same kind of charges. How can you keep somebody for 3.5 years in the prison without a trial? The US Constitution, the 6th Amendment, mandates that the trial has got to be done in a very limited time if you're keeping somebody pre-trial in the prison without giving them the advantage of going to the court and going in front of the jury. So that is the second question. The third question. 2 doctors pleaded guilty out of the group. Nothing related to the work they were doing with me in my practice. They had some issues in the past of their own, but also their family. It is not easy to continue to fight, financially, mentally, and every way you can think of that you cannot, very difficult to do that. So they pleaded guilty to that. And the government in turn gave them that we will give you a lighter sentence, and what you have to do is to come and be a witness against your colleagues, against the other doctors, and throw them under the bus. And that's the only way we can give you some lighter sentence and leniency. Now these two doctors pleaded guilty. They did not spend one day in prison. I'm very happy for them. I'm very happy for their family. And they were good people. They did not spend one day in prison. And I refused to plead guilty. I said that will never happen. I'm never going to do. I was ready to compromise if there is any other way. But pleading guilty, I'm not going to do. Because this is the question of honor. My honor, my family's honor, my country's honor, where I came from. And this is never going to happen. They said you will die in the prison. I said, so be it. I'll die in the prison, but this will not happen. And apart from that, if you want me to make some compromises, I'm ready to do that. But they wanted only the thing that if I plead guilty, if I fall, everybody else will fall and they will declare victory. And to the extent, even my attorneys, to the extent, because 0.03% win from the government, not 0.3, 0.03. So it really is height of arrogance to think that you are one of them. But I could not take it that I can plead guilty. They went to my daughter, they went to Purmi and said that he will never come home. If you don't plead guilty, he will come home in a black bag. Means he will come home dead. And they had my daughter write a letter, handwritten letter, and send it through my attorneys because she was so scared to death that I will never come home. And that letter, we'll read it today, later on, maybe she will read it for you. She's begging me that you plead guilty because I want you home. And then we can deal with it. I said, well, how can we deal with it later on? If I plead guilty, I'm a convicted felon for life. There is no other remedy in that. And she is the only one person who told me that never plead guilty. We're going to win. Purmi told me that no, plead guilty because nobody wins from the government. Not that she doubted anything, but nobody wins from the government. At least she would be able to come home. So it was a kind of thing that was going on. And she wrote me a letter, sent a handwritten letter to me, and I replied to her. It was very, very difficult days. And, as the wishes of the friends, family, and mercy of God, that you can survive this kind of thing. My wife Purmi had a cardiac arrest, not just heart attack, a cardiac arrest. She was in hypothermal, medically induced coma. She was on a respirator. They would not let me go for one day to see her. So the things that my younger brother died when I was there. So the kind of things happened, it is very difficult to describe what was going on. In the end, I won. I won fair and square. That is the American system. But before that, the damage was done. And how are they going to repay for that damage or assure me that it is not going to happen to other people? That is what this book is about. I can read a couple of pages and thereafter I will give back the microphone to you. Do you want me to read a couple of pages?
Sure. Yeah, if you would like to read the pages, but prior to that, I would like Purmi to say a few words.
I'm Purmi. Hello. I'm his wife. 4 years of my life when he was in jail, it was very, very hard. I was going to each every temple, mosque, church, everywhere, and just praying to God that whatever it is, like usually Indian women, they tell that for the husband की life के लिए, for the long life, and I just kept fighting with God. Either you take him away or bring him back to me, but don't send him back in the jail, because what he was going through, so much misery, I couldn't bear it, and it's better that he doesn't suffer, and he's gone. It was very, very hard for us to survive it. I'm so happy he's home. Life is same again.
I request Sonia, daughter, for a few words.
Hello everyone, I'm Sonia, Dr. Kapoor's daughter. My father is an honorable man and brave. He's not just a father, he's a role model and a hero to me. What my father has lost those last 3 years, he never let his dignity down. I want to thank the producer, director, the team, and the cast members for believing in our story, and a special thank you for everyone joining us today.
This was my first trip to US. In fact, G2G was there, Jayaprada ji was there, and we had various stage shows in various cities. And then we had a show in Michigan, Detroit basically, and everybody said that you have to go and meet the most influential Indian in the city. And we were taken by the car to a certain place, and then from there a boat took us to a lake house. The house was in a lake, and I was very proud that an Indian has made such an amazing progress in US, where he lives in a house like this. And then we spent a lot of time with each other, and Dr. Bothra came across as any Indian who has made it big. He was a first generation Indian in his family. His background was that of any middle class person's background. And then we became friends in the sense that whenever they came and they stayed at G2G's house, Jitendraji's house, and that's then Tusshar used to study, and then he used to tell me. So it was a very regular story about all the top Indian doctors who become big names over there. And I every time I met any one of them, I was very proud Indian that what a great success they have made out of it. And I don't know how to make it so silent. Anyway, so, and then I was in New York doing a series, and I was in an Indian function. And I saw two families gossiping about Dr. Bothra, that you know that Dr. Bothra is in the jail. So I said, which Dr. Bothra are you talking about? He said, Raj Bothra. I said, Raj Bothra of Kapoor Bothra? हाँ, क्या हुआ? अरे drugs में पकड़े गए. This is how life is. I said, drugs में पकड़े गए? ऐसा कैसे होता है? मैं तो बड़ा अच्छी तरह जानता हूँ. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. You know, as a person, you sometimes judge people, but that's how your so-called friends also talk about you when you are in a jail and something like this. It does. And then some people were defending, etc., etc. And then I called up Pammi, I think, and she told me that this is what has happened. Till now, you only heard about these things in cinema. You don't hear anybody who's closer to you, and you say that these things happen in India, but this happened in the most advanced country in the world. I recently, last week, I read a person who was kept in the jail for 42 years, and they discovered in America, and they discovered after 42 years that he had not committed the crime that he was there for. So man left, also almost spent his entire life. He was 73 when he came out of it. He was 19 years old. I can only say that, Dr. Bothra, you have a story to tell. And I can imagine what must have happened to you for those 3.5 years. Actors or the known people who live in hotels in an outdoor shoot, and if we don't shoot for 2 days and we are made to stay in the hotel, we feel claustrophobic. Where there is a room service coming to you, there are people, there is lobby, but we are sitting in the room, or the world outside is, how is the world outside? So one can imagine what must have happened to you, and so nobody can give you back those 3 years, and as you rightly said, that Sonia and me must have gone through worse things, because not only you were at least in the reality and the real time, but they were in imagination also. But then courage is very infectious. The fact that you did not plead guilty, I think, shows the person that you are. And you sent me, we spoke about it on the phone. I'm here because I believe that truth always wins, not only because you're my friend, but I'm also here because I believe in truth. But truth can be sometimes very painful. And those 3 years must have played havoc in your life, mentally, physically. You were telling me that you lost almost 16 kilos of weight, and the trauma is still there. You will live with it. But then you have a very good team who will tell this story to the world. Ravi is fantastic. There is no words of wisdom or words of encouragement that I can give you, because that has happened. But you're back in your own country now, in the city, Mumbai, with your friends, with your daughter, with your wife, with some family members. I can only say that everything is okay in the end. If it is not okay, it is not the end. So I wish you great luck. Wish that your story, wish that people like you come back to India and start living here, because this country is much better than any other country in the world.
Hi everyone, I've known Dr. Bothra and Pami Aunty since 1989, around 36 years back as a child, because we went on a family holiday and my family knew them from before. So my association with them has been since then. And then in the 90s, when I was applying to universities, I happened to get into University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. So I decided to go there, and they became my legal guardians for the next 5 years. Because every student who goes on an F1 visa has to have a legal guardian, especially in India at that time. From India at that time, things were very different. So I was associated with them when I was studying. Every Thanksgiving break or spring break, I used to go to their house. And of course, even before that, I was witness to Sonia coming home in 89 itself, 1990 or 89, when she came home and she was born. So that also was something that's a memory that's very vivid in my mind. So since then, even after coming back to India in 99 and joining the film industry, I kept going back and meeting them, and they've been very close to me, especially Pami Aunty and Doc, of course. But Pami Aunty is like a buddy. She's very young at heart, and she's always the Gen Z. She's the Gen Z auntie from abroad. You know, we all have a Gen Z auntie from abroad. She's my Gen Z auntie from abroad. And thereafter, then, of course, it was Anupam ji, in fact, in December 2018, a couple of weeks after this happened, I met him at a party in Taj Lands, and then he told me that this has happened. And I don't know how he had the details, he described it very vividly about what happened outside the house, and Bedia and wo sari cheezein, the rigmarole that is part of the system there. So it was a shock, of course, and I'll keep it short from here on. But I kept speaking to Pami Aunty every now and then, and she, of course, was nervous. I can't describe what she was going through, but she kept saying one thing: he's very strong. He will not give up. He's very strong. He had a fall in jail. She was talking about the way he was being treated inside, and only he knew what he was going through. No matter how much I talk right now, I won't be able to describe what he's going through. That's something that I won't be able to do justice to. Neither will any of us. I think it's only the book that probably will do some justice to what he actually went through. But she kept saying, he's strong, he's strong. And of course, I was praying, I'm into Buddhism, so I used to chant for things to move. Anything, if there's something that is keeping it stuck karmically, then that should move. So I used to chant for that. And eventually, of course, the universe manifested his being here today and being able to speak to all of us, and having written this book and having made the movie, or in the midst of making the movie. I think these are two big victories for him, and he deserves it more than anybody else, and you all deserve it more than anybody else. So we are just mute spectators who are going to enjoy, get inspired, and learn from your experience. And get inspired to maybe imbibe a little bit of the courage, if we can, because you're made of steel. Yeah. Thank you, and and I won't take much of your time because I think there's a flow of events that has to come. Yeah.
I would request Sonia and to unveil the book, and then after that, the artist will introduce the cast, and then you and Anupam can just unveil the book.
विनोद पीछे विनोद पीछे
और पीछे आ भाई अगन भाई वो दादा फोटो दादा खाली आवाज थोड़ा दादा फ्लैश देते या मागे
I would like to introduce to the that's on the film.
अरे उसको सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है
Ravi K. Chandra, who does not need any introduction. So Ravi K. Chandra will be directing the film as well as capturing on the camera, so he's got a double job. And Uncle Bhatia will be playing a younger Kabir from his background in Rajasthan. And Emily will be playing Sonia. Thank you, everyone. And most important, also, there's one more member that needs to be on the, who has joined the cast team, and we'll just announce him.
I'm very excited to be playing the role of Raj Bothra in USA vs. Raj, because this is America's biggest false arrest and imprisonment scandals. It is the story of a man who was living the American dream and it became an American nightmare. The courage shown by Dr. Raj Bothra is extraordinary. The difficulties he had to overcome in facing a state that was against him is something that's unbelievable if it wasn't true. So, playing Dr. Raj Bothra gives me an incredible opportunity as an actor to be in a film that should be seen by everybody around the world, a case of massive injustice averted by the courage of one doctor of Indian origin living in America. I salute Dr. Raj Bothra for surviving such injustice, for writing this book, and I salute Prashant Shah for making this film.
Thank you, everyone. And I would like to take the privilege and honor for Dr. Raj to say a few lines from the book.
Everyone center, please.
थोड़ा क्लोज आइए सर.
So I think the press wants to do some Q&A with you and have some bites with you. Yeah?
Yeah, any questions? Anyone? Any questions, anyone?
Dr. Bothra, yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you, what would you say would be your idea of a takeaway for anybody who is reading this book or watching the film when it comes out? What would be your message or what would you think would be the takeaway for that person from this?
I think the takeaway is that do the right thing. You know, if we did the right thing throughout our career, if we play by the rules and do the right things, you may still get into the trouble. It's not that a guarantee of any kind that you would not, but you will have a way to come out of it. And when you come out of it, you will be very proud of it. You know, as I am today. So do the right thing in the life. Work hard. Play by the rules, and eventually things can still happen and you have to go through it. The system failed, and I got caught into the system because I was a poster child for the government of the United States. There was a narcotic crisis going on. They have to prove to the people that they are doing a lot of things to mitigate the narcotic crisis. 100,000 kids were dying every year for 1 year. I was there. I had the biggest practice in the country. And as I said that sadly, you know, when I went to America, it wasn't against us anything. But I have to say that the things have deteriorated there. Things are getting worse. But at the same time, I think America will come out of it. It is a resilient country. I will always be grateful to America. It has given me a lot. I'm rooting for America. God bless America. At the same time, more than that, God bless India. You know, I was, as the Prime Minister told me one time that you were made in India, and I never forgot that. You know, this is the place for me. I'm proud to call myself Indian, and I'm proud to come back here anytime and do some work, which I did for a long period of time. I never changed. I've been out of the country for now more than 55 years. I'm still the same boy who left at the age of 22. I remain the same, and I'm proud to say that I'm from India.
I would like to also just make sure that you have the title of the film, which is very much current, based on United States versus India, Raj versus USA, USA versus Raj. That is the title of the film. And we have the pleasure of all our writers also here, except for the one from England, Shubhadeep, Hussein Dalal, Abbas Dalal. I don't know where you guys are. And Ravi sir, just one last word to close this.
Good evening, everybody. It's a great honor to be part of this film because I should thank Tusshar for giving me this opportunity, and Raj's story is an incredible story to tell. And it's all there in the book. I wish and hope I can bring this thing in a good way, whatever they have gone through. And it's a very, very important story to tell. And I will put all my effort to make it better. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant, for making me a part of this film. I'm truly honored to be a part of this film, and I'm just looking forward to start the shooting. Thank you all for coming and joining us today. Thank you.
I have the honor of playing Sonia. I spent quite a bit of time with Sonia, and I've learned about what it takes for a family's resilience to really be able to have the courage to be able to support somebody who was so wrongly imprisoned in recent history. This was not that long ago, and as you know, U.S. citizens, we always hope that your country does right by you, and it's very devastating when that doesn't happen. So to be able to play a role that is so strong and one of Dr. Raj Bothra's biggest pillars is an honor. Thank you.
Anyone who wants to do bites with Anupam and Dr. Bothra, please come here. Please come here.
टेबल लगा दे पीछे आना क्या अलग ही से बुला हुआ उधर ही टेबल लगा तो घूम रखेगा उधर ही वन टू वन कर रहे हैं ना
Roll, ready?
rolling.
Dr. Bothra, we heard your story. मतलब आप वापस थोड़ा अगर ब्रीफ में आपकी कहानी बता सकते हैं जैसे फैक्ट है आपको जी
उसके बाद में मैं इंग्लैंड गया, मैं अमेरिका गया, वहाँ पर अच्छा काम चल रहा था बिल्कुल अच्छी तरह से। लेकिन जो जुडिशरी के अंदर जो प्रॉब्लम वहाँ पर मैंने देखी वो बिल्कुल ही गलत है, क्योंकि डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री के अंदर इस तरह का और अमेरिकन गवर्नमेंट इसके अंदर उनकी भी साजिश है, क्योंकि वो यूज़ नहीं करना चाहते कोई केस, पर्टिकुलरली कोई इवेंट हो या कोई भी हो। तो इसलिए ये बड़ी मुश्किल की बात है कि एक बार के अंदर आ जाते हैं तो बाहर वहाँ पर कई लोग होंगे जो जेल के अंदर फंसे हुए हैं और उनके अंदर 20 साल 30 साल 40 साल तक रहे हैं। तो उसका मैसेज लोगों को लेना चाहिए और उनको बताना चाहिए कि ऐसा बिल्कुल गलत है और जिस तरीके से हो रहा है उसमें इम्प्रूवमेंट होना चाहिए। और मैंने बुक के अंदर लिखा है कि जो रिफॉर्म होना चाहिए वो जुडिशरी में, जैसे कि FBI का रिफॉर्म, जैसे कि ग्रैंड जूरी का रिफॉर्म, जैसे कि प्ली डील का जो सिस्टम है वो और कहीं पर नहीं है, ये अमेरिका में है। तो वो सब रिफॉर्म होना बहुत जरूरी है। तो ये बड़ी मुश्किल की बात है कि वहाँ जेल में लोग 15 इस तरीके से वहाँ पर रह रहे हैं, ये बिल्कुल गलत बात है एक डेमोक्रेसी के अंदर। तो इसी के लिए ये इसी के लिए यहाँ पर इंडिया में लोगों को अवेयरनेस लाने का उसके बारे में HIV के आप देखिए, अगर आपको मौका मिले तो यूट्यूब पर आप देखिए ये अबाउट द इविल्स ऑफ टोबैको, जो काम मैंने करीब 30 साल पहले किया था, आज भी बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ और उससे कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ। ये नहीं है हमारी कहानी से बहुत
आपने बोला कि आपके साथ कॉमन मैन के साथ ही हो सकता है, आप कॉमन तो बिल्कुल नहीं हो, आप पद्मश्री हो, अगर ये आपके साथ हो सकता है तो किसी के साथ भी हो सकता है।
नहीं, आप बिल्कुल ठीक कह रही है कि किसी के साथ भी हो सकता है। वैसे मेरा रोल वहाँ पर मैं देखता हूँ तो एक ऑर्डिनरी सिटीजन की तरह ही है। अब आप लोग हम यहाँ से गए इंडिया से, सिटीजन बहुत अच्छा तरक्की कर रहे हैं, उनकी फैमिलीज बड़े अच्छे स्टूडेंट बन के निकल रहे हैं वहाँ पे। इंडिया में उनका बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है, वहाँ अमेरिका में बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है। तो उस हिसाब से बात करी है। मेरे को हमेशा इंडिया में I always kept on coming here, I kept on doing the work here, and in the manner that I got the Padmashri, they wanted me to be there. I'm very grateful. To the people of the country, I never forgot that I got what I am today.
मैं डॉक्टर साहब डॉक्टर बोल रहा हूँ। मैं और उनकी वाइफ की मैं पहली बार जब किया था ज्वाइन किया था अपार्ट फ्रॉम बहुत होते हैं तो डॉक्टर साहब का ये कहना कि मैं ऑर्डनरी So when I heard the whatever the charges were, modified. Now when you are put behind bars, then faces in the jail, the faces in the cell are not the faces that you are I must applaud your courage and your sense of humor. Out with your friends, and I wish you good luck. Friends, go and read this book. It may not be your story, but it will help a lot of people throughout your life. Thank you.
Like I said earlier, this is my 37th year of knowing Dr. Shah. And no matter how much we describe what he went through, we won't be able to do justice to what he actually went through. Because he can only, it's something that is indescribable. And I think the book is going to do justice to that. So, all I have to say is that hopefully we're able to get inspired and imbibe a little bit of the courage that he has shown. And tough times don't last, but tough people do. I think that is the biggest learning and biggest lesson that one can get from his experience. Because I've seen him in his glory, and only the universe knows
He will be more glorious now.
why he had to go through what he went through. But I think the reason he went through that is for us to set an example for all of us to never give up, no matter what the circumstances are.
So what I need to also say that brown lives matter.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
सीधा माइक लगा के उसको
हाँ चाचा
अरे ऑटो
भाई अरे फोटो
अरे मैं आवाज ही नहीं दे रहा हूँ, मेरे को क्यों बोल रहे हो भाई?
कौन है यार? हटा वो दादा दूसरा कैसा उसमें